Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited. Guess who's back at the cafe? Parker J. Cole is in the house. And guys, she is hanging out with us today for her latest historical fiction romance, guys. A Marquis to protect the governess. Look, try to say that fast 3 times. She is hanging out with us. And guys, let me just tell you, it is hot off the press, okay? And this is a book that, of course, Parker, I call her Piper. We know that she's not Piper. She is Parker J. Cole.
It's an honor,
Parker, we talked a little bit about it offline, which we're going to share and bring you guys into the fold as well. But I was telling her about her amazing covers for her books and all of that good stuff as well. So guys, thank you for joining us here at the cafe on today. And guys, I just want to tell you, you already know what to do. Like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to come on down to the cafe and hang out with myself and Parker J. Cole on today. Parker, let me allow you, my friend, to introduce yourself to the people.
First of all, Angela, once again, thank you for letting me come down to the cafe with you. Just really enjoy talking to you every time we get a chance to talk. And you're just such a great and wonderful host. And I just want to thank you so much for your professionalism, just for your just conversational tone. And I love how you love my covers. I love my covers. My covers are excellent. And I work with some of the best graphic artists in the industry. And I am so glad that they want to help me create wonderful art that people would really enjoy. So, really glad to be here.
I love that. And Parker, they do it as well. We have Helen Gibson hanging out with us today. Hello, Helen. How are you on today? Of course, Antoinette Gates, all the way from Mississippi, hanging out with us on today. Thank you so much, Antoinette, for hanging out with us as well. And so, of course, Parker, we're going to talk about the book. But speaking of covers, guys, the name of this one is A Marquis to Protect the Governess. Check out that cover. You know exactly what I'm talking about how gorgeous that it is. And so, Parker, if you can just kind of expound upon that a little bit, what was it like when you saw this cover? Because we've already talked about you have some amazing covers. Your covers, Parker, are like those wow factor covers that it's like, okay, wait. Let me check this cover out. It's one of those. It's like you wanted just one click as well. But tell us a little bit about this one, Marquis to Protect the Governors.
Well, I really got to thank the people over at Harlequin for their wonderful professionalism and how they really do work with trying to capture your vision for the cover. And they really did that because I wanted it to be opulent. I wanted to be kind of somber, and I wanted to show the tension between my heroine and my hero. And I wanted to show that she is. I really want to piggyback, I guess, off of Bridgerton, because Bridgerton has that really unique flavor of interracial but blind casting, and just seeing African Americans and people of color in unique positions that weren't always available at the time. So I really wanted to capture that, but then I wanted to show her in opulence because the story takes place in the 1750s, which is at the height of the French decadence of the time period. So there is lots and lots of wonderful, rich, detailed dresses and access and just great stuff. Oh, that's my girl Natasha. Natasha, how you doing?
Hey, Natasha, thank
Antoinette,
you for
Helen,
joining
so
us
good to
today.
see you guys. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. Now, Parker, we have to talk about this too, my friend, because in addition to your amazing covers, your titles. Okay, this one is A Marquis to Protect the Governess. Okay, now Parker, spill a little bit of tea. Was this Parker's original title? Did it evolve? Did you have help with the title? How did this title come to be?
Well, the original title, I believe the original title was The Marquis Secret. I'm sorry, the Governess Explosive Secret. I think that's what it was called before.
Okay.
So it was, the emphasis was more so on the governess and her secret. And then talking with my editor over at Harlequin, we decided to show them both being a part of this thing, because her secret, you find out relatively early in the story what her secret is. And I'm not going to tell you because it's pretty explosive. But
yes.
but then we like he protects her, and I love the idea of the hero protecting our heroine. Yes, she could be independent and girl boss, but there's nothing like just having the protection of this debonair, brooding man coming to your rescue. And I love stories like that. So I wanted her to be independent and a free thinker, but she's also, it's okay for him to protect her when she needs that. So I really liked it. And I
Yes.
thought a Marquise to protect the governess was an excellent title.
I love that. I love that. And we are enjoying this title too, Marquis to protect the governess. And
Hmm.
again, it makes you just that word like protect is like, okay,
Yeah.
you know what's going on here, and to
Hmm.
find out that there is a secret that
Yes.
this governess has as well. So he definitely has some protecting to do as well, guys. If you are just joining us, you guys already know it is award-winning author Parker J. Cole, guys. She has her latest historical fiction romance that just dropped. It is hot off the press with an amazing cover, a Marquise to protect the governess. Parker J. Cole hanging out with us on today as well. And Parker, Antoinette Giggs says, sounds great. The title both sounds great. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
I
oh,
love
hey,
it. I love
Sharon.
it. I
Sharon's
love
on
it.
here too. Hey, Sharon. Haven't talked to her
Hey,
in
Sharon,
forever.
thank you so much for joining us. I love that. I love that. I love it.
Mhm.
Guys, we are having a good time with Parker J. Cole. Y'all already know we got to celebrate with her on today. Now, Parker, I want to, before we get into like the book or what have you, I wanted to kind of ask you a couple of questions because you've been writing historical fiction for a while. You've been writing historical romance as well. What is it about historical romance that you enjoy, especially in like the Regency era? What is that Parker J. Cole enjoys?
Well, I think the Regency era has a lot of romanticism to it,
Mhm.
because we do think of the dresses, we do think of the societal norms of that time period, because you couldn't be as blunt as we are now, and you had to navigate that society in the ways that you couldn't do it now. And I love to envision people of color, because so often the narrative is often oppressive, but during my research I've learned that not every person of color was oppressed. I'm trying to say that the right way, but I like to explore stories of freedom. I like to explore stories of independence. It doesn't always have to be the slave narrative, and quite frankly I'm done with the slave narrative. So I promised myself, if I do have a slave narrative, they're getting out, they're gonna be free like early. Something's happening, they're gonna be free early. But I really want to explore different realms of historical, and the French era before the French Revolution is a fascinating era that I like to explore with Harlequin, because the French had a lot of control of the Caribbean islands during this time. They had taken away from the Spaniards. And it's interesting because the French allowed a lot of movement among
Mhm.
people of color. And that's why they're coming from Haiti and some of the Caribbean islands in my stories, they're coming from
Okay.
Haiti
Okay.
to Paris. Somehow they get from Haiti to Paris, or they go from Paris to Haiti. And in this case, my girl is what is termed Creole. She is of mixed blood. Again, you find out very early, she's a mixed blood. And the Creole women, in my research, they were considered some of the most beautiful women that ever walked the planet. And they were the
Mm.
mistresses of powerful men, and they were the mistresses of even some of the minor nobilities of that time period. So they were able to navigate society differently. Plus, when you look at a lot of the French paintings, you do see even though it's not a lot, you do see people of color being presented there. Some people rose above their station and some people didn't. So I like to
Mhm.
explore that. And of course, not everything is, factual. I want to put that out there right now. It is fiction, but
It is
uh,
fiction, guys.
it's fiction, but I try to at least make it plausible. That's the thing. I try to make it plausible. Hi, Tiffany. How's it going?
Okay.
So I try
I
to
love
make
it.
it
Hey,
plausible.
Tiffany. I love it. I love it. Okay, now Parker, we got to talk about this, my friend. Okay, if you guys haven't read like the blurb or what have you, okay, let me just paint the picture. Okay, romance and scandal ignite in the palace of Versailles. A Cinderella governess with a royal secret. Okay, guys, reeling from the discovery that everything she knew about her life was a lie, Isadora is forced to take up a position as a governess in the brooding Marquise de Lioness household. As she helps the Marquis bond with his orphan nephew, Isadora can't help but be drawn to the man behind the title. But can she trust him to protect her secret? One that's so explosive it could rock the court of King Louis the 15th. Parker, okay, first of all, you're going to give us this wow factor cover. Then you're going to give us this wow factor blurb. I was like, what? Okay,
Oh
guys, if
man.
you have not picked up your copy of A Marquise to Protect the Governess, we will be sharing with you. I know, right? I know Author Chanel. Wow.
Thank you, Chanel.
As well. I'm gonna read going on my read this list. Yes. Author Chanel, add this to your list of reads as well. Yes, author Sharon Blunt, I love a good synopsis as well. And Parker J. Cole, she does it. Like I said, she give you a wow factor cover, then you flip it over, then you read that on the back. It's like, okay, this is amazing. I gotta read this book as well. Now, Parker, leaving them with that little bit of a cliffhanger. First of all, the first line says a Cinderella governess with a royal secret. Okay, and I know you can't, we're not going to spoil it and give them the secret, but what was that like for you putting it on the page, knowing that this was going to be like the secret? Was that for you? Did that come to you first, like with the plot, or how did it come about? This is what this story is going to be about, her secret and being
Well, I
protected.
think Cinderella is such a classic story, and it's been done
Yes.
many different ways. And I wanted to put my spin on Cinderella. And Cinderella, she is ever gentle and kind, right? And she gets the prince, and she gets the hero, be through being gentle and kind. But I wanted to show her sort of elevated a little bit through my heroine. Her name is Isadora, and so Cinderella in the fairy tale, she doesn't really bring anything to the table, right? She brings her goodness, her kindness, her good character, which is nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't misunderstand. But I wanted to envision Cinderella where Cinderella could potentially cause some damage, right?
Mhm.
And so that's kind of like where it
Ooh.
comes from with this story. Hi, Jennifer, how's it going? It's nice to have you with us. So, yeah, so that's kind of like where it came from.
Look,
And again,
Parker,
we love
look,
Cinderella.
when you said that, I almost have to say the scandal.
Yes,
Look, woo, the scandal, the scandal, the scandal.
I'm sorry, Lord forgive me, but I love stories with scandals. I really
Yes,
do.
yes.
I got a little bit of a nosy, busybody gene in me. I really do. My girlfriend told me yesterday, I was talking to her on the phone, we were talking, and she said, "You are so nosy." I said, "I know.
I
I
know.
know. Yes, I am. But it's for a good cause. I don't tell secrets, but I just want to know him." So
Well, Parker, what you can say in your defense is all in the name of research, all in the name of research for these amazing
yes,
stories.
I'll have to give me a fan now, Angela. I'm about to get me a fan. I want your fan
Look,
so
well,
bad.
this
I go,
is a courtesy of author Pat Simmons, and I
oh,
actually use it a lot on Fun Friday, or what have you. But this fan is like perfect. It is perfect, and y'all know too that for like fans can tell a whole story. Okay, they can
yes,
tell a whole story. I
yes.
love that. I love that. And I mean, hey, we're in the Regency period as well, so
They
get you a
talk with
fan,
their
my
fans.
friend.
There's a language of fans.
It's a
However you
language
pitch
of
the fan,
fans.
did this. They were telling all because you could. That's what I like about you. Couldn't say. You could not be blunt. You couldn't be direct because it was all about politeness, all about presenting this facade and all this kind of stuff. So imagine you want to tell your man, "Hey, come meet me later on tonight," and you have the fan. You may do
Oh,
something like this, and you like,
ooh.
and he watching you because he's watching that fan. You know, what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness, guys. Parker J. Cole is spilling the tea. She's telling you a little about the language of the fan as well. Guys, we are hanging out with her. We are talking about our Marquise to protect the governess if you guys are just joining us. And of course, we will be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of this amazing read. As we said, it is hot off the press. It is live and in color. Tell a friend to tell a friend to get it as well. And Antoinette said it is silent
Yep.
communication.
Yep.
Yes, Antoinette, yes. And of course, guys, y'all know how we do it here at the cafe. If you have a question for a Parker, be sure to put it in the comment section as well. But again, Parker, we wish you a happy release week, release month for this amazing story. as well. Now, of course, we talked a little bit about the fairy tale retelling of Cinderella. We all love the Cinderella stories and the retellings of Cinderella as well. But let's talk a little bit about these characters as well. Let's first talk about we got to start with my girl, the governess Isadora. What can you tell us about Isadora's character?
Well, I was originally, if you're familiar with the book Jane Eyre, that was written by one
Okay.
of the Bronte sisters. I love Jane Eyre. Oh my gosh, I love that story. Okay, and so I wanted to have Jane Eyre. I wanted her to be like a Creole Jane Eyre to this story, and I wanted
Okay.
the Marquis to be Mr. Rochester. Okay, and Mr. Rochester was
Oh.
very brooding, very dynamic. Just had this huge, presence in the story, and when one of my first drafts of the story, I made him a little bit too mean, right?
Oh,
And my
okay.
editor was like, "He's awful." Right? He said he's absolutely awful to her. He could be brooding without being mean. So
Right.
and so she had me really work on his character because I love Mr. Rochester. Mr. Rochester, his character is very much just dominates. He's very dominating, but he actually needs Jane to soften him up. And so when Isadora, when she comes into the thing, he's dealing with his own grief because we find out, like page 1, you find out that his brother Terry had passed away and passed away in scandalous means. And he has to be like his big, mind you, even though Terry is his big brother, he's the one who has to keep going behind him and fixing up the family scandals that he leaves behind.
Right.
And then
Hmm.
now he still has this one last thing to leave behind. This his brother's gone now, and he's still fixing up his brother's messes. And so when he comes along, he's slightly bitter. Slightly angry. And then Isadora comes along and she completely just upends his world because the last thing he expected is what he saw. So that's kind of how the story started. And
Hmm.
Isadora, I wanted to make her like Jane, but Jane in the book, she was just horribly traumatized in the book. She just had an awful
Hmm.
life in Jane Eyre. And I didn't want to do that. Like I said, I want to kind of get away from those oppressive slave narratives. So she's basically had a good life while she lived on Haiti, which in the book is Saint Domingue. I cannot pronounce it.
Hmm.
My French is absolutely abysmal. So if you know French and I mess up in this book, have grace because I don't know French, right? And I didn't put a lot in there. But it's Saint Domingo, I think that's how I say it back in the day. And so she's a spoiled girl, and that's what I wanted on the island until 3 months before the story starts, when her whole world gets upended and she learns about this secret.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And so you will know, they are giving you love in the comment section. Veronica Lockett, she said that historical fiction is becoming a favorite of hers,
Yeah.
historical
Mhm.
romance. And then she also said that she loved the scandal. It makes the story more interesting. Now, here's a
Mhm.
great question. Author Sharon Blunt wants to know: have you always wanted to write historical romance?
Oh my gosh, Sharon, thank you so much for that question. And shout out to you, Sharon, for everything that you do for authors. You know, um, I didn't always want to write historical romance. The opportunity came back in 2017 when, or 2018, when I started in a sweet, clean, and wholesome multiple author project called a map. And that's how I got started. But then I got bitten by this bug, and I have to, give a shout out to Beverly Jenkins, who is the queen of African American and person of color historical romance. I remember reading her
Yeah.
when I was young back in the day, and the very first time I saw a romance book with black people on the cover, I just picked up the book. I didn't ask questions. I just saw this guy about to throw this girl down on the floor, and I had to have it. So I just said it was her first book, Night Song. And I remember I was in the pharmacy store when I saw Beverly Jenkins, and then it was so cool to talk to her years later and have her on my own podcast, and we'll talk that a little bit later. My own podcast, and I told Miss Jenkins, I said, I could have did this if you didn't do it first, and to show that you can write historical romance. I give a lot of credit to Beverly Jenkins, and that. So have I always wanted to write it? No, but I did get bit by this bug. I did get bit by the bug.
I love it. I love it. And thank you so much for sharing that. And Helen Gibson is saying, I got to read this one because I love those
Oh,
secrets. I
secrets
know,
are
Helen, we were
good.
talking about the Scandal. Oh my goodness, Helen, you are in for a treat. Guys, if you're
Scandal.
just joining us, we're hanging out with Scandal. We're hanging out with author Parker J. Cole, guys, a Marquis to protect the governess. It is live and in color. And like I said, we will definitely be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of this. Now, let's talk a little bit about, you told us a little bit about his brother. Let's talk a little bit about the Marquis. What can you tell us about his character?
His character goes through a transformation. And it goes through a transformation because he puts everybody before him. He puts everyone's needs before him,
Mhm.
everyone's problems before him. And so then he has to, again, his brother's gone. So his brother, now his brother's left him with this problem he has to take care of. And his problem, I will talk about it in a second. I'll tell you what his problem is. And it's so darling. His problem. And he really doesn't do anything for himself. So he's a very nice, he's a good man
Mhm.
who's brooding, but he doesn't take things for himself. He tends to put everyone before him. And I think that speaks to a lot of us who always put other people first. And then you meet someone who actually puts your needs first and puts your
Mhm.
desires first. And I wanted to switch it around because women, generally speaking, have been self sacrificing often. But I wanted
Mhm.
to put it on our main hero this in this time to show that he's just as worthy of taking what he needs as well, and he finds it in Isadora, and he finds it in her. So I really liked his transformation of accepting when someone puts you first and being okay with that,
Mhm.
being all right
Mhm.
with someone saying you matter and I'm going to do
Mhm.
something for you, not because you're doing something for me, but because I want you. I want to do this for you more just because I want you,
Mhm.
just because I like you. So I really want to explore that through his character. But he's still brooding and
Wow. Well,
dark
thank
like his
you for
director.
sharing that, Parker. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. Yes. And look, we got Helen on the edge of her seat. She says she is looking forward to reading this one. I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. Now, Parker, think about all of the characters in A Marquise to Protect the Governess. Is there a character or characters, because there could be more than one, that was interesting for you to write, or even fun for that matter? And then on the flip side, is there a character in this story that was a little more difficult, or at times gave you pause where you kind of had to sit with that character? So, just a two-part question there for you.
Yeah. My favorite character is the reason why the Marquis and Isadora meet, and his name is Dujane. Dujane is an adorable
Ooh,
2-year-old little boy
yes.
who needs help. Let's just say it like that. And I actually based him off my nephew. My nephew changed my
Oh,
life when he was born. He changed my life because I wasn't an aunt, and all of a sudden I became an aunt. And I remember holding him in my arms, and I fell in love with my nephew. He was so beautiful. He
oh,
had those big brown cheeks, those big marble eyes, and he just needed love. And oh, now he's 19, 6 feet three, standing over me, you know. but uh he just changed my life, and I realized the power of being an aunt and being able to affect change in my niece and my nephew, and it was incredible. So some of my answers are based off of him, Dujardin, and he just steals the show a little bit. Now, the one character I think I had a problem with, and not necessarily a problem, but had to think it through. I can't really tell you because it's attached to the scandal that is
oh,
in this
okay.
story.
So, guys,
So, can't. Oh, hey, Belle, how's
I
it going,
love it.
Belle? It's good to see you.
I love it. Hey, Arthur Bell Calhoun, thank you so much for joining us as well. So, guys, let me just tell you, and it's coming up. I know y'all ready because Parker, these people are on the edge of their seat. They are ready. And you already know, yes, Parker is going to give us a snippet of her story as well. I know you guys are waiting for it as well. And Parker, I don't want you to forget, because you told us that you was going to tell us what the Marquise's issue was. So, are you going to spill that tea, or do you want to
Yes.
read your
Well,
snippet first?
no, I can
Okay.
spill it now because the snippet kind of relates to it. So basically, his brother is just living his life regardless to the circumstances, and then he dies, right? And he has to come fix it. So then he comes back home trying to fix this problem, and guess who's there? this itty bitty little boy he had no idea existed. And he's like, and not just any little bitty boy, for and this is back in the day, he's Creole. So here he is with a half mixed child that he has to take care of. So he has to figure someone who's going to take care of this child, and he's hitting roadblock after roadblock, and then all of a sudden this happens. So that leads him to meet Isidore. Again, it's very early in the story. I'm not spoiling anything for you, but imagine your brother living his life without any regards to consequences, not thinking things through, just doing what he wants, and then he dies. You come home, and there's this woman with a little kid. Like, how y'all doing? So,
Parker, let me just see. My fan came in handy today, and Juliet, yes, the plot thickens. Okay,
yes, yes.
that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so guys, Parker is setting it up for you. I'm telling you, y'all gonna want to one click this one because it is full of secrets. It's full of scandals. It's full, look, the romance is there. I mean,
Mhm.
Parker is giving us all the feels with this Cinderella retelling as well. If you guys are just joining us, it is a Marquis to protect the governess. Yes, Author Chanel. Yes, that fan
Mhm.
is a fan moment. See, that's what we're gonna have to do with the cafe. We're gonna have to get us some fans because you never know when these authors be dropping these the tea spilling, okay? And you're gonna need the fan, okay? I love it, I love it, I love it.
Just start
Antoinette,
with,
there
I'm
you
gonna
go.
have to give me a fan because
We're
go
gonna have
ahead,
to
kid.
get us a fan. That's what we're gonna have to work on, okay? Getting us a fan for the Literary Cafe when it's tea time. I love it. I love it. Well, Parker, it is definitely your time, girl. You are getting ready to share with us a snippet. I know they're on the edge of their seats. I'm on the edge of my seats. I'm gonna let you paint the picture for us, and then you can start when you are ready.
So what has happened here? We're in the part of the story where he meets Isidore, and now he's going to take him to meet this little boy who happens to be his nephew that he didn't know
Mhm.
existed until very recently. So that's where we start at. What is your nephew's name? Jean Dugenet Gaudier. Dugenet, Isidore repeated softly. It means God given. The child lifted his head from his preoccupation with the toy, and Isidore fought to keep from gasping. His eyes were an astonishing contrast of ash and indigo, like the swirling waters of a stormy ocean. Though a child, Dugenet looked at her with an intelligence that belied his young years. Dugenet stood and waddled towards them, his arms outstretched with his toy, and talking in that way of children who were just learning words. Isadora fell to her knees without much thought, waiting for the boy to come to her. He smiled, showing a toothy grin, but he tripped and fell into the old woman. With a hard snort and a raspy cough, the old woman awakened. Unaware of her audience, she scowled at the boy at her feet. Worthless mongrel scum! Can't you just sit and be quiet? The sudden shout startled the child, and he started to cry. Hot tears stung the corner of her eyes. How dare the Marquis d'Orléans let a member of his staff speak to a child in that manner? He was the master, and therefore he should set the standard of behavior he expected. Before Isadora could do little more than shift her position, a shadow blurred across her path. Isadora blinked, her mouth falling open. The Marquis stood in front of the woman, blocking her from view. Isadora dashed to where they were in the center of the room. She grabbed the child, lifting his light body against her and holding him, crooning soft, nonsensical words that all children understood. Dugenet whimpered and wrapped his surprisingly strong arms around her neck, clutching her with as much vigor as she was with him. A shudder seized the boy's body, and Isadora's throat thickened with sympathy. Whatever the words the Marquis said to the old servant woman, she didn't know. His voice had dropped to a whisper. As he spoke, the servant's face remained blank. He backed away, and the old woman got up. Head down, she scurried out of the room. Gripping Dujanet tightly in her arms as he slumped against her, Isadora could remain silent no longer. How could you, monsieur, allow that woman to speak to a child in that manner? He has done no wrong worthy of such treatment. She only did what you allowed, monsieur, so you are to blame. The Marquise blinked. What? Don't pretend, monsieur. It's apparent that you and your brother were estranged, but that is no reason to allow your staff to mistreat his son. I would never. You already have. Isadora flung at the stunned man gaping at her. That servant only felt comfortable speaking to Dujardin like that because she knew there wouldn't be any repercussions for her actions. Mademoiselle, if you would just, I won't be quiet. If you can't see fit to protect him from unscrupulous servants, then let us leave. We do better as beggars in the street than wards under your care. If this is how you feel about your nephew, oh! The words cut off as the Marquise d'Olanus took a giant step towards her and grabbed her wrist, clamping down on it in a gentle but firm grasp. His fingers nearly circled her wrist twice, so large was his hand. Heat and lightning streaked down her arm where he touched her. Release me, monsieur. Not until you listen, he countered. His cerulean eyes had hardened like shards of ice. Now be silent, mademoiselle, and let me speak. She glared at him, but kept her peace as he spoke in crisp, clipped tones. I would never hurt a child, least of all a child of my family's blood. Nor would I ever tolerate abuse of a young one from any of my staff. To that very moment, I had no idea that Madame Cellier felt she had the right to speak to my nephew in that manner. She has been summarily dismissed from my employ. Isidora's shoulders relaxed. Oh, I thought you were wrong. There was a bite to those words, one that raised goosebumps along her skin. His eyes narrowed as he stepped closer, blocking everything but himself from her field of vision. So close now, she felt the heat emanating from his person, inhaled the citrusy aroma of his cologne. Towering above her like a flesh and blood idol, his shadow swallowed her and Dugenais whole. Those eyes glittered with a dangerous light. Yet somehow Isadora didn't feel threatened at all. Quite the contrary. Seeing the Marquis d'Olanus like this only confirmed what she thought. He was a man of restraint, but beneath it lay a reservoir of feeling. It excited her in an inexplicable way.
Woo, child. Oh my goodness. And Chanel said, OMG, OMG, Parker, this is amazing and beautifully done. I need a paperback and an ebook. That's what I'm talking about when you have books in multiple formats as well. Let's see. Author Sharon Bless, I'm going to push this book up on my list because, honey, I need more. They are enjoying your reading. Antoinette Guest says yes. Jennifer Copeland said, woo. Let me just tell you guys, if you are just joining us, we are hanging out with Parker J. Cole, and she just gave us a snippet. Okay, for a Marquis to Protect the Governess. It is live and in color. It is a new release for Parker J. Cole in her historical romance books,
Mhm.
and we are super duper excited for her on today as well. And of course, guys, you know that there is going to be a giveaway. In just a moment, I'm going to let Author Parker J. Cole share with us what her giveaway is going to be on today as well. Let's see. I love it. Julia said, you got me on that reading. Got to rearrange my coins. I love it. I love it. I love it as well. So, guys, we are super duper excited. Let me just tell
Oh,
you,
Rhonda. Hey,
hey,
Rhonda.
Awesome Rhonda McKnight, thank you so much for joining us as well. And Parker, let me just tell you, this book is just amazing. Okay, you, as you can see, they are on the edge of their seats. Thank you for reading that snippet for us as well. Now, let me ask you this, Parker, because it sounds like you had a lot of fun writing this amazing story. Can you share with us, spill a little bit of tea? What did Parker J. Cole enjoy about writing our Marquis to Protect the Governess?
I really liked exploring the Cinderella trope, but I love exploring the Palace of Versailles, which shows up a
Oh,
little bit later in the story. Versailles
mhm.
was the most beautiful place at that time. And King Louis XIV had a lot to do with building up the palace, making France a powerful country during its heyday. And I really like putting my characters in unique positions. And I love Jane Eyre. So it was my spin on Mr. Rochester and Jane, but with a little bit of heat, of course. You know, got a little heat in there. That comes later, gang. A little bit of heat in there, and I just really like the whole experience. And then I love one thing I love about historical writing, particularly when you write historical romance, and people who are fans of the genre, they love the little minute details you put into it.
Mhm.
So when I describe one of her
Yes.
dresses, One of her dresses is absolutely ornate. And this is not a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler. She's used to living a high life, right? She's used to living a high life. You find it out very early. And so then she goes from living a high life to being a Cinderella, right? And then I was like, I would love to have that experience. I've been a Cinderella for a long time. So I want I want to be Queen Victoria, you know. So but so she it's an adjustment for her too, you know. But I just love everything
Okay.
about the story, and I like the time period. I really do like the time period.
I love that. I love that. And Jennifer has a great question. She wanted to know for this particular story, did you have to do a lot of research for it?
Oh, for sure, because I had to do a lot of research because again, even though it's fictional, I still wanted to seem plausible. And so I had to
Okay.
look up social mores. I had to look up um, how people of color were treated because, like I said, I wanted to stay away from the slave narrative. So I had to do certain things to create that. The island of Saint Domingue of Haiti, we're going to call it Haiti because I can't pronounce it, but Haiti, Haiti at that time actually had a lot of people of color. They had a set of society who were free people of color who were actually landowners too, and they had money. So it was
Mhm.
nice exploring that part. So a lot of research went into it, and they're all nuances. They're all subtle details that you learn throughout the story. Sometimes all your research does not make it into your story, but it does add that depth to it, so people can say, "Oh, okay, I can see how this is again plausible." So yeah, I enjoyed it.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And of course, we're going to play a quick round of this or that, but this is going to be New Year's edition or New Year's Eve edition. We're getting close to New Year, to the new year of 2024 as well. Parker J. Cole, are you ready, my friend?
Yes, I am.
All right. It is New Year's Eve. Are you for fireworks or sparkles?
Fireworks.
Okay. Okay. Are we going to a fancy party or cozy gathering?
Fancy party. Fancy party. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Reflect back or reflect forward or look forward. Reflect back or look forward.
You know, that is a good one because I think it's both. Because you can't be at the new year. You're at a precipice, you know, and you're looking back at where
Okay.
you've been and you're looking at where you're going. So I got to say both. I couldn't choose between that one.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Stay up late or going to bed early.
Oh my gosh. When I was younger, I would stay up late. Oh my gosh. I'd be up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I have gotten older. And last year, I turned off everything at 9 o'clock. I totally slept through the new year. I totally slept through it. So I'm going to bed early.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for playing around of this or that New Year's Eve edition as well. And of course, guys, there is a giveaway on today. I'm going to let Parker J. Cole share with us what her giveaway is going to be on tonight.
So I am giving away two copies, two paperback copies of a Marquis to protect the governess. I have two paperback copies I'm going to give away, and I cannot wait to give it to the winners. I really hope, and I'm going to sign them and send them to you. And I really, truly hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed writing it. I'm very excited for it, and there's a lot to it. So yeah.
Okay. Parker, did you see how excited I got for the people? Did you see how excited I got when, guys, did y'all hear that giveaway? Parker is giving away not one, but two print copies, autograph copies at that, of a Marquis to protect the governors. First of all, the cover is gorgeous. So when you guys get this print copy, definitely like, tag, and share, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay. Thank you so much, Juliet. She said, nice meeting you, Parker, as
Nice
well.
meeting
And
you.
Parker, I'm going to get your help, my friend. I'm going to go up and down the comment section. We're going to do it two times. And that those individuals that we stop on when you tell me when to stop, they're going to be a winner of an autographed print copy of a Marquis to protect the governess. All right, let's go round one. I'm ready when you are, my friend. Okay. And I'm ready when you tell me to stop.
Okay. Oh, I couldn't see you. I'm sorry. Sorry. Stop. Because I can't see anything to stop.
Okay.
Hey, she said sparkles.
Myra Cook, you are the winner, my friend, of the first copy of an autograph autographed copy of Marquis to Protect the Governess. If you will inbox your information, my friend, we will be sure to get that to you. All right, Parker, I am starting over, my friend. I am ready when you are.
Okay, go right ahead. And stop.
Okay, let's see. Veronica
All
Lockett,
right.
congratulations, my friend. You are the winner of the second autographed copy of our Marquis to Protect the Governess. Oh my goodness, guys, you are in for a treat. We are super duper excited about that as well. And again, thank you so much, Parker, for both of those autographed copies of a Marquis to Protect the Governess. Now, Parker, can you share with us a little bit about, of course, we're getting ready to end the year of 2023, my friend. What is one of your bookish highlights or writer highlights of 2023 that you want to share with us?
Well, I'm going to, I don't know if I should share it, but I was going to share it anyway. So this year I did something I never did before. I wrote all year,
Okay.
and I wrote several books this entire year. And
Oh,
they all will
wow.
be publishing next year, every other month. I've never
Okay.
done that before. I was challenging myself to, because one thing I do struggle with is I do procrastinate, right? I am such a procrastinator. I'm a pantser. When I write, I hate outlines. I hate organizations, the swear word in the coal house, So it's like, so I challenged myself to write several books this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing that play out for the next year, to see if it was really worth the effort that I put into it. So I'm looking forward to having more books come out next year. Like I said, one every other month, and then getting that together. Now they've been written, I just got to send them to my editor. My poor lady, poor thing. Send to my editor. So yeah.
I love that. Well, first of all, congratulations for finishing all of those books in 2023. And then congratulations that they're going to be coming out in 2024, almost like a book every other month. That is an amazing, amazing, amazing Parker J. Cole. And we are super duper
Yes.
excited. And I'm sure, guys, that Parker J. Cole will be hanging out with us in 2024. We just got to look, we got to coordinate our schedules to get her back at the cafe in 2024 as well. And of course, Parker, I know they are ready to hear this next comment from you. Please tell the people, how can they get their hands on a copy of A Marquis to Protect the Governess, which is available in ebook and print?
You can go to Amazon.com, or you go to Harlequin.com and get your copy. It's in a paperback and ebook. Go ahead and get your copy today. And if and then I also write, just so you know, always, if you don't mind, Angela, I also write for the faith-based market. Most of my works are faith-based markets. So I write for the faith-based market too. But Harlequin is, general market. So just letting you know. But yeah, so you can go forget Harlequin, go to harlequin.com. And little teaser, there may be someone coming back next year from a Marquis to Protect the Governess.
Oh, oh,
And
okay. Look
maybe
at Parker spilling the tea, spilling the tea.
it may
I
be
love it. I love it.
a
I
young
love it
boy. It
as
may be a young boy
well.
we just talked about. Maybe a young boy we just talked about. It may be a young boy who's now a grown man.
I love it. I
Maybe,
love it.
maybe, maybe. I don't know.
I
You'll
love
have
it.
to stay
I
around and find
love
out,
it.
gang.
Yeah, look, Joy Massenberg. Yes, Parker J.
Yes.
Cole is spilling that tea. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. She Nell said that she already one click. She can't wait to start it as well. I love it. I love it. I love it. And guys, it has been amazing hanging out with all of you guys on today and hanging out with Parker J. Cole on today, talking about her latest release, A Marquis to Protect the Governess. And Parker, please share with us, my friend, how can we stay connected with you? And in addition to telling us that, don't forget to tell us about your podcast that you have as well.
Oh yeah, so you can stay connected with me. Look, you can stay connected with me by going to parkerjcole.com. Go ahead, check me out. You can sign up for my newsletter, and you can also go to my Parker's Bodacious Readers group. It's on Facebook. Stay in contact with me there. I let people have ARCs in my book. I chit chat, talk with you guys, stuff like that. Just a great way to stay in contact. You can ask me questions. Sometimes I ask for your help with a book, or you may actually, I have contests where I ask you for a character's name or something like that. And if your name is selected, I put in the book. that you give me. Just a great way to stay in contact. Looking forward to having you guys join me for that. And then my podcast, I've been doing my podcast now for 10 years, and I've showcased Christian authors worldwide. Been doing it now for 10 years, thank goodness. And I love what I do. I've talked to people from all over the world. I've read books from so many different genres within that, and I love what I do. Going strong, hopefully, for 2024, year 11. How did that happen, Angela? Year 11, and just keeping to expand the podcast in there. I haven't posted a lot this last couple of months, only because I had some personal issues happen, games, but you'll start to see that pick back up again. I know you know about Angela. To see that pick back up again. So yeah, that's what I
Look,
do.
and Parker, well, not only that, you've been cranking out them stories as well.
hmm and just spoiler alert,
Yes.
Rhonda came on and joined us. Rhonda's been on my show a couple of times, and Rhonda McKnight, she's been on the show. I think I was on Veronica's show. I think, and Veronica, I'd be more than happy to return the favor. So yeah, just that's what I do. So I'm excited. So you can hang out with me at pjcmedia.net.
I love it. There you have it, guys. You can hang out with her at okay, say it again, pjcmedia.net.
pjcmedia.net.
You can stay connected.
Hmm.
There you have it. There
Yep,
you
there
have
you
it, guys.
go.
Definitely stay connected with Parker J. Cole there. And in addition to that, guys, definitely follow her on social media as well. And of course, once you read our Marquis to Protect the Governess, definitely leave a review. I know that Parker J. Cole will be so appreciative of that. And guys, let me just tell you, on her website, you can see all of her backlist. Go check out some of those books as well. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let me just tell you, her covers, Parker covers, you just want to frame them. You just want to have a print of these beautiful covers, and
Yeah,
you just want
I
to
take
frame
my
them. Okay,
graphic
I
artist because I
promise
can't
you,
draw
that's
sick
what
people.
you want to do.
I can't draw sick people. So
I
I'm
love
so
that. I
thankful to
love
graphic
that.
artists.
Well, Parker J. Cole, we want to allow you, my friends, to have the last words of what you want to say to the people on tonight.
I just want to thank you so much, gang, for just being a part of this conversation. Angela, once again, thank you for letting me join you again at the cafe. Looking forward to getting to know some of you, and I hope that any book you read that you just love it. And um, I wouldn't write if we didn't have readers. No writer would write if we didn't have readers. So thank you for, dear readers, for doing what you do, encouraging our authors, supporting the authors, buying their books, or just, hey, if you couldn't even buy them, let's say you can't buy them, you can say, hey, I could be an ARC reader, I could be a beta reader, or I can share your post and do that. Just little bitty things that help authors. I really appreciate that you guys just go above and beyond the call of duty. And then of course platforms like Angela, which showcases authors from various backgrounds, different stories, great stories to tell, all of that, and so really appreciate that. So thank you so much. I appreciate being here tonight.
I love it. I love it. Well, again, thank you so much, Parker. And of course, a happy new release of your new book, A Marquis to
Thank you.
Protect the Governess, as well. It's been amazing hanging out with you and getting a little bit of tea
Yeah.
about this particular story, as well as what you have coming up in 2024 as well, guys. You are definitely in for a treat. And of course, as we say always, have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Go get a copy of our Marquis to Protect the Governors. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.